Hey, it's Cher, and you are listening to or watching episode 94 of the Style and Stewardship podcast. So today I wanted to do a follow-up. This will be the third video in this entire process and healing journey of my diagnosis with Bell's palsy. So if you have not looked at the very first video, that was a couple of weeks ago, I will link it below, or I'll put it in a card above so that you can check it out and see what Bell's palsy is. If you're unfamiliar, I'll just do really quickly. You can have something that is in your body that is a latent bacteria or virus rather, that can just really impact your immune system and cause damage to your seventh cranial nerve, which really controls everything on your face as far as your facial movements, the fact that you can blink, swallowing, and all of those things just on one affected side. So it damages those nerves that control all of that. It causes temporary or a little longer lasting, depending on how much damage was done. So that's just a really quick overview of what Bell's palsy is, what may cause it. And I've shared in a video right after that with how I was planning on healing, or what I was planning on doing, being a holistic nutritionist, and how I was going to holistically try to impact my healing. So I'm going to get into things that I've done, how I'm doing now, what my progress has been like, what my pain has been like, and all of those things. I received several questions, so I just wanted to do a follow-up about that. I'm not an expert on Bell's palsy, but I want to just share my experience and where I am now. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to get into is, one, thank you so much for sharing your stories. I prayed for all of you. And also, thank you so much for your prayers. They have meant so much to me, and I really appreciate the encouragement. First, last, thank you so much. Bless Mom, thank you so much. There are so many, but I just wanted to just say thank you so much for just your continued Lady Lawyer. There's so many of you. I can kind of go through the list, but I just wanted to just say thank you so much for your prayers and for reaching out. And for those that are experiencing Bell's palsy, I hope that this helps you to feel not alone, because this is a very interesting scenario that a lot of people around you probably can't relate to. I actually didn't know what Bell's palsy was until it actually occurred in my health. So one of the things that I wanted to start with was the last video I shared the different supplements and things like that I'm doing to support my body, but I also want to share what I'm not doing, and this is just my personal approach to how I want to help my body. So the one thing that I'm not doing is forcing my body. I want my body to heal, and I want to do it in its natural time. And I want to support all the underlying factors that impact things like our nervous system, things that impact our actual nerves and the conduction from nerve to nerve in those synapses and impulses that our body naturally does, that this has hindered. So our nerves repair extremely slowly, and depending on how much damage was done, it can take longer, and depending on what type of nerve, it can take just a different amount of time. Also, our foundations with our health, how we're already doing and what condition we were in before we experienced Bell's palsy, I think it's going to have a huge impact on how we heal, how quickly we heal, and all of those things. So I wanted to say that I wanted to support the foundations of my health as opposed to just going in and doing certain things. So I shared in the last video that I went and I got an IV injection of B12. B12 is extremely important when it comes to your cellular function and when it comes to your energy and how your body uses energy, but mainly for your nerves. So it's extremely important that we're giving our nerves what they need to do the work that God created them to do, and to hopefully support the damage that has been done so that it can heal. So that was my approach. I wanted to give my body as many vitamins and nutrients and minerals that it needs so that it can be on a healing process. But these are things foundationally that any of us can do and should be doing to make sure that we're filling in gaps that we might not be getting from our diet. And if you are like me and you have food sensitivities and histamine intolerance and food allergies and gut health issues that are in my household right now. Those are things that I really wanted to concentrate on. I wanted to concentrate on supporting those foundations so I can fortify my health in this journey to healing. So the body wants to heal. God made it to heal. And the more that we can give the body what it needs to do that, I feel like the better it's going to be at doing that. So one of the things I did not do, when you're researching and you're looking into Bell's palsy, or you're looking into any sort of diagnosis where you've experienced something, you want to kind of see what other people have done or what their experience has been like. And I will say, first off, I saw so many different things, that so many different modalities that people enlisted to help them on their journey, and that was their personal decision. There are things like acupuncture I've read people doing, and I've seen videos on that. There are things like putting a TENS unit, attaching that to the affected side. And if you can't tell, or if you're listening to the audio, my right side has been impacted. And I'll get into some of the things that I'm able to do now that I couldn't just a little while ago in just a bit. But I didn't want to force my body and force it to do, I want my body to function right, and I want it to, Lord willing, it goes back to normal. And that would be absolutely amazing. I would not be mad at that one little bit. However, I didn't want to do anything that I felt might hinder that, because sometimes I think we can get into a situation where we want something to change so badly that we focus only on the symptom. And if we're not getting to the underlying root cause, we don't know what will support best, or what will best support us if we don't know what the roots need. It's like a plant. What do the roots need? They need minerals in the soil before they can do anything else. So I feel like our bodies are the same way, and holistically, that's my approach to everything. What caused it, or what could have caused it, and where was my immune system before all of this happened? So that's kind of my way of thinking about this. So I thought, let me make sure that I am getting in all of the nutrients. So once I was done with all of my medication, and I don't think I've shared this in my other one, but they put me on prednisone. I was on that, I believe, for 12 or 14 days. I was put on an antibiotic because this initially started with an ear infection on this side. I was put on an antiviral because that is how they approach Bell's palsy, because they don't know if it was a bacteria that caused it or if it was a virus that caused it. Things can lay dormant in the body. If you've had chickenpox before, you could possibly have shingles. And if shingles impacts your ear or impacts a different part of your body, it can actually cause the damage to your nerve that controls these facial muscles. So I was like, okay. And I also took ibuprofen. That was the only thing that I ever took for any sort of pain. But I also wanted to, right after, I didn't want to take these supplements at the same time I was taking all these other things, because I wanted them to have full reign and do what they needed to do. And I concentrated more so on that point on my diet. So it was like, what inflammatory foods am I eating? What things am I eating that could be impacting my immune system or my body's inflammatory processes that may be hindering my healing? So what things can I kind of tamp down the inflammation that is happening in my body? Inflammation is good, but chronic inflammation can cause damage. So I was like, how can I get my body to a place where it can be supported in its inflammatory processes? I've done a whole video on that. I will link it up top or below, on inflammation and what causes inflammation. So things like sugar and things like simple carbohydrates, things that your body can break down easily that are carbohydrates that are going to turn into sugar, can lead to things like more inflammation in the body. So I lowered those things in my diet. I ate more protein. You need amino acids for every single building block in your body. Amino acids are literally what we are made up of. So we want to make sure that we're getting all of our essential amino acids. I did a video on that as well, in case you want to do a deep dive into protein. I believe it's entitled Protein 101 or something like that, so that you can see what supports your body as far as essential amino acids that make up protein that we need, especially for any sort of healing, repair, or growth in the body. So I concentrated more on that. Then I brought in the supplements. The supplements that I aimed for were the foundational supplements, so a nutrient and mineral kind of complex. It's a 2 a day. I'll link to that video. And also to B vitamins, and also getting that B12 injection. All of those things are critical when it comes to your body, and just foundationally how good we're going to feel and how our body is going to be able to heal. The other thing that I found is super helpful is just massaging my face. So at night, first thing in the morning, I would massage it just a little bit. And then at night is when I do my more extensive massage, and just really simple facial exercises. So I didn't do anything extreme because I really don't want to cause any like bruising to that side of the face. I don't want to cause any undue strain, and I don't necessarily want to artificially send impulses to my nerves. That was just my personal decision. I know other people have done TENS units and have done things like acupuncture, which I've heard acupuncture can be amazing, but there was no one in my particular area that specifically did that for people with Bell's palsy. One of the other things that I was really considerate of, I did not want to go to anyone that did something that did not have experience with people who had Bell's palsy. So I didn't want to be in a place where I was in a desperate situation, or I told myself this was a desperate situation, so I needed to do all things, by any means necessary. I didn't feel like that was a good approach for me. And even the thought of something going wrong caused me stress. And I was like, you know what? It's not worth it, because stress is definitely something that I don't want to have undue stress, especially in this time of healing. Life has its own stressors. I am a homeschool mom and a nutritionist. And the last thing that I want is undue stress. I have enough of, just regular life stuff. So I did a massage at night, mostly once I would wash my face and use my moisturizer, and I would use that as a time of just doing like spreading motions and doing things in the natural direction of my, my facial expressions. So I would do things like lift this side whenever I would, want to smile, and just kind of like doing that. I'm not an expert in any of this. I just really looked up things on YouTube of like, myofascial exercises with Bell's palsy. I didn't want to do anything extreme or unnecessary, and I didn't want to cause any of that pain to come back. So that was the other thing that I did. And whenever I would brush my teeth, I would use the back of the toothbrush and I would massage inside my cheek, which was super helpful because this cheek just feels like a tendon that was just really stiff. So I just wanted to just massage it. So I would just do circular motions, and I would kind of go up with it and up, just in the natural direction of a smile. So that's what I would do. And I didn't want to do anything crazy. So I would just take my fingers and just kind of tap around very lightly. You definitely want to speak to someone who's an expert in that. I have no idea, but I did what felt good and what felt normal, and I didn't want to push my face to do anything that it's not ready to do. It's still healing. So imagine breaking your ankle and then trying to force yourself to walk. To me, it just feels like I would be working against myself. I also looked into something called synkinesis, which is something that I read about when this happened, because I wanted to know all the things that could possibly happen. And one of the things was called synkinesis or synkionesis. I'm not sure how you say it, but it's a condition where when the nerves start reconnecting, they connect in a weird pattern that causes your affected side, even though it's healed, to have really different facial movements than you did before. So I saw this one lady, and when she smiled, she not only could this side drooped, so it causes a drooping on the other side. I didn't want to do anything that would cause that, and I'm not sure that anything could happen. That could still happen. I'm still healing, but that's kind of my encouragement also, is Take your time and don't get into such a place of desperation that you try any and everything, because the body is healing. And sometimes I think we can get in the way of that if we do a more forcing than nurturing and nourishing. So I just wanted to encourage someone with that. Just take your time, because your body is going to heal in the time that is necessary for it to heal. So now, where am I? I have been, okay, so today's Tuesday. I think I'm going to probably release this video today as well. And I have not experienced, thank you, Jesus, I have not experienced any pain since last Wednesday. There are a lot of things that are still going on with my face, but I have more control over my mouth, so my words are a lot clearer than they were. And then the other thing is I'll just kind of get a little closer so you can see my face. So this eye right here, this is as much as I can blink it. Well, I can't blink the entire eye, but it will move if I focus really hard. So that is what is going on with this eye. I can smirk, which I could not do before. My smile has a tiny bit more symmetry, but it is still definitely left leaning. So this is my smile. Full smile. This is the most that I can close this eye, which is significantly more than it was before. You see there, it's still open there. And what else? My eyebrow, this eyebrow almost lifts up just as much as the other, which is pretty incredible. And then this nostril, I can move it a teeny tiny bit. Before, it didn't move at all. I don't know if you can see that. And then just right here, this part lifts. And before, I had no movement whatsoever when it came to that. So super, super excited that I'm having movement. I no longer have to tape my eyes shut with medical tape anymore. So now I am just using my sleeping eye mask, and I just wash it. Because I do find that when I put in my gel drops at night, I use a gel, I think it's called Theragel, and it's a preservative free. They're little individual little eyedroppers. Actually, hold on, let me show you what it looks like. Okay, so it is called Refresh, and this is lubricant eye gel. So this is what I have been using at night or on days where it's really, my eyes get really dry from not being able to blink. And they come in these little packs that you just use individually. Do not use these over. These are non-sterile once you open them, so you want to make sure. And there's about 5 or 6 drops, and I always felt like, oh my gosh, I'm throwing that away, because I want to say this was maybe 20 bucks or 15 bucks, something like that. But this is going to help the health of my eye. So that is what I use at night. And since it is a gel, and this is one of the only ones I want to say that didn't have terrible ingredients. A lot of them had things like propylene glycol, and if you're not familiar with that, it's basically the same ingredients in antifreeze. So those are things that I don't personally want to use. I'm sure when I was at the hospital they used I don't know what, but as far as what I'm going to use on a daily basis, I don't want it to be something that I don't like the ingredients of, or that the ingredients aren't great. This is the TheraTears, and this is the one that I just take on a daily basis. This is the same as this one. It's preservative free in the eye, but it does have a preservative in the bottle. I don't know how they do that, but that is what they say. But this replicates healthy tears. It's preservative free in the eye is what it specifically says, and it has decent ingredients. So these are the ones that, and this I have not lost. I'm sorry, I haven't run out of this, rather. And these are just great if you want to if you're on the go and you just want to take something with you and you need something a bit thicker. That is what I like to use. So let me set that aside. I have been continuing to use these little safety glasses. They have like a around the rim. There's like rubber around the top and the bottom, and these were just my husband's, and he gave me 2 pair, and these are just fantastic. I've been using those when I go out and about. I use my husband's, he got me a pair of these dark safety glasses, and they're not cute, but I don't care because they wrap all the way around, so I don't have issues with the sunlight, because that was a huge problem for me, especially driving. So I have been able to use those, so I just drive and I go wherever, and it's just awesome that I know my eyes are protected, because when the sun is beaming in on your eye, God made our eyes to blink, and when it can't, it can cause really, really bad migraines and all the things. So that's one of the things that I like to do when I'm going out and about, or when I'm outside playing with my son. It has gotten so much easier for me to tolerate light, which has been another thing. It's been great. I'm trying to think what else. For a while, I couldn't chew on this side, and as of just maybe 4 or 5 days ago, I can chew on this side. My taste buds on this side were impacted, so things still taste a little weird on this side. And though I can feel my tongue on this side, it is still slightly numb, which was why I couldn't really chew on that side, and the pain that it would cause in this ear was excruciating. It was horrible. So I didn't chew on that side for the longest time. I'm able to do that now. There are so many things that I can do now that I couldn't do before, and I'm just so grateful of just the little everyday things. Especially my biggest prayer was that God would just remove the pain, which he has, and I'm praying that for you as well if you're experiencing pain. Some of you in the comments of the first video have been, which I'm still, all the comments that you leave me, I am answering myself. There's no one answering my comments for me, and I'm reading every single last one of them. So thank you so much. I am praying for you and for your continued healing. And I just want to encourage you, if you are having a really, really tough time with this, everyone's body's different, so everyone's healing timeline is going to be different. So don't put pressure and stress on yourself to be immediately like you were a month from now, or 2 months from now, or 3 months from now. Count every single last thing that you are able to do as just a gift and as a blessing, because anything can happen to us at any point in time on any given day. And if we allow the what ifs or what we can't do to just be the only thing that we're focused on, it is the only thing that we will focus on. So I just wanted to encourage you with that. Those of you that are experiencing nerve pain, I've been praying for people in my family in a different way, because I now know what it's like to have nerve pain. The only other time I've had nerve pain was having a lot of like oral, like teeth things done over the years. I've had like oral surgeries and things like that, and I had sciatica when I was pregnant with my son. So I have experienced nerve pain, but not one where I couldn't get any relief at some point, and this was that way for quite some time. So those of you that are experiencing nerve pain, oh my gosh, it's just a different kind of pain. And the more that you can do to support your body foundationally, especially with things like a lot of inflammation, the less pain, you can impact your pain levels, believe it or not, with how much chronic inflammation is lowered. And doing things like eating wild caught fish for DHA and EPA and all of those things. Your omega-3s are literally anti-inflammatory. Eating foods that bring inflammation down in the body, all of those things are so helpful. If you have any questions about this, or if you want to continue to follow this journey, let me know in the comments. Let me know any specific questions that you have. If there are a bunch of them, I can create another video on them. If you are someone who's going through nerve pain, I am praying for you. If you are someone going through Bell's palsy or Ramsay Hunt, I am praying for you. And know that your story and the timeline that it's going to take for your body to heal is unique to you. Please don't use other people's healing journey as anything other than just an encouragement for you, and not something that you compare yourself to. So it's going on 5 weeks, and this is, I'm extremely happy to have the movement that I have, and to thank you God for the pain to not be here. But other than that, I can't compare my journey to anybody else's, because we don't have the same body. Anyways, let me know any questions that you may have. God is with you. All you have to do is reach out to him. All you have to do is pray, invite him into this situation with you, ask him for guidance and discernment, please, and wisdom going forward on how to best support your body as it heals, because that is what I'm praying for you, and that is what I'm praying for myself. Until next time, your life matters. What you do that matters. So what will you steward well? Peace.